What's up, YouTube? Today we're making a Dreamcatcher, Farmhouse style. Whoa. In fact, if you take a quick look.
Shh, don't tell them.
This is Jamie making. I am the husband, and together we bring you
DIY home decor for the non-crafty.
We will switch you over and show you exactly what we're talking about because it came out really cool.
Yep. So we kind of did mash up a couple designs here. A little boho and a little farmhouse. But we are taking a 12-inch embroidery hoop, a banner refill, and one of our new transfers that, you know what, I don't remember the name of.
Wow.
It's brand new.
I said we just got it. It's actually very punny.
Yeah. I thought it was super cute. So there's a lot of designs on this one that would actually fit really well here, but I really liked the Farm Sweet Farm.
Yeah.
So
fit well.
That's us deciding all the
what
extra
do we want to put
elements
in there, what we don't want to put in there. And of course you have to write on the back of your transfer so you know where they go.
Right. So with that embroidery hoop, it's kind of a really light colored wood. So you can paint it, but we actually decided to just kind of stain it with the dark wax.
Yeah, with the dark wax, which just kind of gave it a little tint to it. I mean, it looks a little dark here, but once I get it wiped off, it just darkened it just a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I meant right there by doing things backwards.
Trying to cut backwards. And we left the top edge of it, has got the hemmed over seam, so it kind of gives it a little more finished look. Came out really, really cool, and we didn't have to sew. Because, you know, we don't sew.
I don't sew. I hot glue. That's as close as we get. So we just kind of cut out the rough shape and hot glued it to the edges of the frame. Now, the closure for the hoop, we tried to get that centered. We didn't. So,
Whoops.
Yeah, whatever. We'll show you how to cover it up later. But we just kind of figured out how much of the fabric that we needed to show. And we're going to wrap the top with some yarn. Just give it a little something extra, a little something cool.
Kind of dressed it up.
And we're actually kind of using that to sort of cover up the hanger. Cover up / incorporate the hanger. So that it looks like it's, you know, an actual part of the whole thing and not just a thought of afterwards.
So we sped this up really quick because you don't need to watch me wind yarn around a rope.
Or me to cut yarn.
Cut yarn.
So, although I will say, for on the left side of this there, I'm making the strings that hang down underneath the Dreamcatchers. I figured out how long I potentially wanted it to be, and then just kind of did an end-to-end back and forth. Because then, once you figure that all out, then you can just cut all of the ends at once. I made them really, really long so that I had a lot to work with afterwards. And husband had a good idea there to twist.
Oh, for the handle. Yep, we just spun
the hanger,
the string, the yarn.
Yep. And
just glued it on so it came out. Made it a little thicker.
Oh, and speaking of thicker, this is cheap yarn, you guys. Like the cheapest I could get. It was the cheapest, and it was on sale.
Hey.
So I got all the colors mixed. I picked 3 different colors to give it a little visual interest. And then I just kind of mixed them all up so that it was random.
Made a spaghetti mess.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's kind of hard to actually get random when you're doing something because your brain goes, okay, white, gray, mixed, white, gray, mixed. No, brain, go random. Oh, crap, I still made a straight up pattern.
Yep. Husband had the good idea that it would be easier to create bundles of these and glue like little bundles on instead of kind of do the whole thing at once.
Oh, this is me braiding. I'm super good at braiding. You'll see the wife take mine apart here in a minute.
Well, you know.
I don't know why it came up for the discussion. I said, I know how to braid. And she said, what? I said, I know how to braid.
And then he did not prove it.
Kind of. I'm like, the motion was right. It just. I guess that's what I should say more is, I know how the braids work, not how to actually use these to make them.
I understand the theory of it, not the practice. I get
not the application. So there's you tearing mine apart.
But I added braids into this to give it a little bit of, a little more texture than just straight strings. Next time, what I would probably do is do double thread in each one to make them thicker. because they kind of didn't really come out
Didn't
much
stand out.
fatter than than regular strings.
Oh, this is trying to fluff up the strings.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we watched a gnome tutorial from somebody else, so I cannot remember right now. But anyway.
Don't brush it too many times. It
Yeah.
falls apart.
But she took yarn for the beard and pulled it apart, because you can yarn itself
Untwist.
is made up of like 2 different twists, and then you can take those twists apart and then take those twists apart, which is like 4 different strands, and that's all we did here. It was just
Pulled them apart and brushed them out. That's a
boar bristle brush. I don't know if that makes a difference.
It worked. We did it.
Yeah,
It did fluff it up.
it
Gave
did.
it some different texture throughout the whole hangy thingy.
Yeah.
Hangy thingy?
But again, here's a couple of suggestions. It was a lot of work, and if you don't bunch them together, they don't really stand out that well. So, because we have some in there now, you can't really see them. So what I would suggest is either committing to do a crap ton of them,
Or don't do them.
or don't do them, or do them in only one color. So like if I wanted to do the gray,
Yeah, that makes sense.
don't do any straight gray strands. They all should be the curly, floofy.
Fuzzy.
Yep.
This is how we covered the closure,
Yep.
which actually tied in really well.
Yeah. I kind of pulled the idea from the braids that we did underneath too. We talked about doing a fatter braid, and this is I did the 4 strands in each strand, each bunch. I don't know. You can see what I'm doing, and and then I just did it really loose braid so that you could control how wide it gets.
It's a little fatter.
Yeah, and when you're laying it down, you can like pull all of the strands, each of the yarns out, so that they all lay flat and make it wider too. And then I just braided until it was time to hot glue. Burned my fingers a couple times, and
Especially on the industrial strength glue gun.
yeah. And we were gonna cut the end off, but it looked kind of cool just hanging there, so we left it.
Looks like the end of a scarf that kind of just drapes over.
Yeah.
But it blended right in.
I just thought of something. We should make one of those that looks like a snowman next year.
There, that's perfect. Yep, that's a scarf. Dun, dun,
Oh,
dun.
look at that. Creativity in the making.
Okay, so here comes the fancy part that's not hard.
Yeah.
The easy fancy part.
None of that was really
No,
hard,
none
but
of it
this
is.
is the super easy
Yeah.
bit. Slap a little paste on there and peel it up.
Bum, 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 bum.
Yeah.
Boy, that came out really cool.
Yep. And that's the moment where we sit there and we're like, oh man, maybe it doesn't need anything else.
Yeah, we put the one on the bottom and we're like, huh, I don't think it really needs much.
Yep. Oh, that's super cute.
Then I
as
made her put it up
is.
just to see what it looked like.
Yeah. It's like, do it for the video. And I'm like, okay, we're actually going to do this now.
It needed something, and it just gives it a
Yep.
little something up in the corners.
And those are super cute. And then we have to trim. We have to trim our Dreamcatcher hairs.
Started out a little longer, but then we held it up 2 or 3 times, kind of trying to get the height for it and everything.
Yeah.
Ended up shortening it up a little bit.
It was quite long. And all I did here was follow your generic YouTube DIY haircut at home tutorial.
Trimming your bangs.
Yeah. A little snippy, and it turned out super, super cute. Quite happy with it.
Awesome. It came out really cool. You
Yeah.
can see behind us. And it was really easy. It really didn't take that long, and it turned really cool.
Yeah, it looks super complicated, but
Yeah, that's I guess what the word. I keep saying cool, but it looks like it's a really hard, something really took forever to do, and it took a little time, but it came out really, really cool.
and we have ideas for more. So, if you enjoyed this, please give us a like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you know when we have the next one coming up. Because we actually have some more Farmhouse stuff coming up very soon as well.
Awesome.
And I think you'll like it.
Thanks for coming there, guys.
Bye!